Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to the special Saturday edition of Bob's BTC Breakdown. Figured I know we got a few new guys that are coming on board, so figured might as well take a few minutes while I got a chance and my toddler's not running around to go ahead and talk a little bit about BTC. Went ahead and cleaned up my chart again. And I'll bring the drawings back in here shortly. But again, just wanted to talk about where we're at. Daily chart here, you can see it up here one day. Poloni X, don't worry about that. It just has more data on Bitcoin history than other exchanges because it's been around for a long time. But long story short, again, just want to talk about this. So right now we're caught up in this little range right here, and I anticipate that we may end up sticking in this range for several days. So we don't, to be frank, we don't have a great deal of major support right here. We're kind of right in the middle of no man's land. So we fell below this level here, which had good support. You could see right here, right here, basically support. And then, again, we did end up testing it again over here, which, we got support temporarily before it rolled over. Support again, roll over. But long story short, we're caught up in this range now. So we fell below here. And then down to probably here is our most realistic range at this point, right? We've been talking about this. I mean, if you look over on the right side of the screen, you'll see, ballpark 37.6 ish or so. That needs to hold up. Let's just be very, very simply here. That needs to hold up, or all of a sudden we open up this range again down into the 34-ish range. Sorry for the notification there. Bitcoin is apparently moving to the upside at the moment. But again, if we fall below this range, then all of a sudden this becomes the new potential floor. Below that, all of a sudden, apologies. All of a sudden, this becomes the potential new floor, and then all the way down to here, things get real scary. So, long story short, let's hope that this level will hold up if and when we touch it. And that's basically what we're looking at right now. But again, we had this big pullback. You're going to notice that after big pullbacks, you get some kind of sideways action. I mean, this was what we had the big pullback there, and then sideways slop for really 3 weeks. I mean, just kind of stayed range bound. So again, I don't anticipate any major movement in the immediate future necessarily. Like I don't expect this to just hit here and then fire off to the upside, but it may. And we'll see how that all goes. But again, for right now, we're just kind of slopping around in this mess. If we get down here and this level holds up, that's where you can anticipate that we're going to be opening up long positions, looking for the altcoin bull cycle to really get firing off again here. So be prepared. That's when we're going to start to look at making the bulk of the funds that we're going to make during the last sections of this bull run. Obviously, we'll be prepping for shorting afterwards, but for the time being, obviously, we want to get what we can out of the longs, especially when the altcoin market is going to start firing off to the upside. It's not going to be easy getting there. Just FYI, like you're still going to see a lot of volatility in the market. That's just the nature of it, especially once you start topping out. If you look over at the stock market, you'll see the same thing. We're starting to see some topping patterns taking place, and obviously when that's happening, you're seeing a lot of volatility. And again, that's where we're at. But yeah, I mean, again, we're still just talking about it being in this range for now, potentially getting down to here, and then starting to work our way back up out of here. Let's go ahead and put the drawings back on the screen so you can see, again, going back to the pattern I'm looking at for the moment. All right, so understand, and the whole reason I did did what I did a few minutes ago was because I understand that this is a little more difficult to see everything that's going on, and if I'm explaining these ranges, it might be a little more difficult to see. But essentially, we've been talking about this for I don't know, better part of a week or two now, a couple weeks. 8-wave bearish cycle pattern that seems to be playing out here. In order for it to fully play out. it doesn't want to actually stay completely within this rounded bottom that I've got here. It actually should fake its way out of that pattern. And again, that's the whole point of this market. Well, not the point of the market, but that's just what this market does, right? The concept is to take as much money from the most people as possible. As a trader, the expectation is that if you've drawn this pattern and this is what you think it is, then you buy this right here. And then if it falls out of that pattern, you're selling it. Um, and then at that point, you're looking at potentially, buying a retest of a level. And to that point, that you got this white line here, and this lines up perfectly, right? This would essentially be a retest by Bitcoin of the breakout that we had back here. This breakout retest. This probably turns into a bit of a falling wedge, and then all of a sudden we fire back off into this pattern, the rounded bottom. But I anticipate that this is going to probably roll over at some point in the next several days, maybe not even a couple of days. Who knows? Maybe it'll probably end up. We tend to get the most volatility in the market, kind of that Sunday night, Monday morning kind of range. So that's probably what we'll be expecting there. But I expect that this will probably roll down into here at some point in the next several days. And at that point, it's probably game on. That will probably be the final march for the the Bitcoin bull run and really for the altcoin bull run. But that's again, that's what we're looking at. So we're going to be looking to load up right down here and really put all that money to use. But let's take a look at the short term time frames real quick and make sure that everything still jibes with what I'm saying. All right, so coming into some shorter term time frames here. This is just a 15-minute chart. I'm not. You don't want to base all of your you don't want to spend all your time watching short-term charts, but it kind of helps you to define a direction for the market there. Matt and I were talking this morning, and kind of just saying, hey, look, we've got a range established at the moment. Granted, it's only been for a couple of days now, but we've basically got a range established. We've got essentially an area that we're going to be looking at trading within, at least for the time being, and until Bitcoin makes a decision to either break out to the downside or break to the top side of this. But we've essentially got a trading range. Just correct through this line. This has all been within the last few minutes. Decent volume, so I'll assume that that's a legitimate breakout. It may come back down into here, retest, and then pop up here. I anticipate still, though, that at the end of the day, not necessarily literally today, but at some point here, it probably falls down out of this pattern, this rounded pattern. It probably gets rejected somewhere in this level. Maybe even doesn't make it that high. Maybe, this is a 15-minute chart, but maybe gets rejected at the 200 moving average and then rolls over. Just depends. And then maybe at that point, too, we also get another bounce here. So we continue to fill in this side of the chart. But yeah, for right now, everything seems to be going according to plan, I guess, if you will. Not that they called me up and asked me about my plan for Bitcoin, but nonetheless, here we are. Man, we're getting seriously, gentlemen, get excited. Like we're getting into a time period where things are going to get very, very exciting for this market and probably for the stock market as well. Once we get past this insane volatility, man, it's exciting. So don't have much else to say to the new people. Welcome aboard. Let's get this. Enjoy.